All right, we are live. Here we go. Let me tweet this out into the world. It's Monday, October 17th. It's Monday, October 17th. Hello, everybody. Live market open. Woo! It is October 17th, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Iceman, Financial Independence, GS Strategies, Abhishek, Paul, Damian, Seth, Roth, Cameron, Jason. Good morning. It is October 17th, 2022. And this is a new era on this channel, okay? Why is this a new era on this channel? Because Leather Amit is here. Leather Amit. You know, I ordered this leather jacket from Amazon yesterday or on Friday at 2 a.m. I don't know why, but I did it. And I like it. I've never worn a leather jacket in my life. Some would call this a quarter life crisis. I'm turning 25 in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So maybe you're like, hey, this guy's in a quarter life crisis because he's turning 25. I just think it looks cool. And so we're going to make today a great day because, well, I got a leather jacket. So, all right, let's get into it. Markets are up. By the way, let me know if you like the leather jacket in the comments. If you don't, that's okay. But I kind of think it looks it's not too bad. All right, here we go. Also, it's getting cold in New Jersey, so I kind of need something there. Nice jacket. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Gabe says this bounce will be short-lived and lower lows made by SPY puts. Is it real leather? Well, it's $50 on Amazon, so it feels like real leather, but I don't know if it's actually real leather. I don't think I will have the guts to pay for real leather. Let's go on to Webull. Look, the market's looking nice. It's not horrible in the pre-market. I mean, we'll see how long it lasts. We've got the S&P up to 363, up 1.61%. Ginkgo up 3.4% at 268. Tesla up 2.28%. I am having a live stream tomorrow night with Farzad, for those who know him. He's a big dude in the Tesla community. We're going to be talking about Tesla earnings coming up on the 19th. So Tesla earnings are this week. It's a very, very big week for those who are in the Tesla stock. Tesla is a big part of the market. If Tesla craps the bed on earnings, we can expect the market to go down. If they beat earnings and they beat them substantially, the market might recover a little bit in based on what we've seen. So we'll see that. SoFi 4.9. By the way, I want to give a shout out to everyone who joined the SoFi Weekly Pod. That podcast has 4,000 views. It had 175 people live. I really appreciate you guys. I know some of you probably watched that didn't even care about SoFi, but just cared about me and the channel. So I really, really appreciate everyone who checked it out. Definitely means a lot. And, we're going to see how that community and that podcast expands. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Where are we on the NASDAQ? Also, Kanye West is buying Parler. So we've got to talk about that. That's interesting. So we got the NASDAQ at 10,321. It's a little bit, it's 3% lower pre-market. Oh, that's interesting. NASDAQ a little bit lower pre-market. And we got SoFi again at 490. Well, let's go to Palantir. Where's Palantir? Palantir is up 768, 1.99% pre-market as well. So we've got some good action pre-market, but we are going to see how that happens. Amit, when are you going to give me an interview, bro? Gabe, let's just set it up. We got to set it up. We can do it this week. We just got to find a free time for both of us to set it up. Saving on energy bills with a good jacket. That is correct. Morning Gold, morning Everclear. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. Now, let me cover this article real quick, and then we'll get right into the market open. So Parler, for those who don't know, is a more conservative-leaning social media platform, and Kanye West has agreed to buy them. Why is this interesting? It's not that the company's public or anything, but I mean, Elon's trying to buy Twitter, so you've got a string of celebrities trying to own these types of means of communication. In a world in which Kanye West has been banned from Instagram and Twitter, I mean, it kind of makes sense for him to want to own his own platform. It's just Parler. I don't know if Parler has any users, to be honest. And social media platforms are really only valuable if they have users at the end of the day. So in a world where conservative opinions are considered to be controversial, we have to make sure we have a right to freely express ourselves, says West, who now goes by Ye. Financial terms of the deals weren't announced. The company previously said it had raised $56 million in funding. So if the company raised $56 million in funding, I mean, we could assume that they gave up what, 20, 30% of the company, maybe even 40%. So at minimum, you're talking about this is $120, $130 million buyout. I mean, for investors to even get a 2x on this deal, he's had to pay close to 140, 150 million bucks. Which is a lot of money for a company. I mean, if you divide that by the number of users, you might be paying upwards of a couple $100 per user on that platform. Let's actually check out another website called SimilarWeb. SimilarWeb is a website I like to use to check traffic. And we're going to see how much traffic Parler gets. Parler. Okay. Here we go. Parler. I don't know how accurate this is, but it should be okay. 1.3 million visits. So it's not horrible, right? You got 1 million people to come visit the platform. Now, is it, or 1 million visits? I don't know if that's 1 million people. The question is that worth upwards of $100 million bucks? Maybe not. Let's actually go to parler.com and see what it looks like. I haven't been here in a while. Parler agreements entered into a principal, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it's definitely being acquired. That's there. Interesting. It kind of looks like Twitter. Very interesting. I might make an account today, kind of see what it looks like. All right, well, that's the Parler news. That's pretty much it. Wants has actually never heard of Parler. Might not be a thing in Europe. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely targeted towards the American population. That's the core thing. Twitter, by the way, I was looking at their stats last night because I was doing some comparisons. They have 237 million monetizable daily active users. Now, how many of those are bots? I would say at least 10%, to be honest. At least 20 million of those are bots. But they've reported they can monetize 200 million people every day using their platform. So I just noticed, by the way, we're about a minute away from market close or market open. This bell that we ring at 9:30 is the same color as the jacket. That's pretty cool. I didn't even notice that. I had a choice to get black or brown, and for some reason, the brown spoke to me. It spoke to my soul, and this was a very compulsive purchase. It was literally at like 3 a.m. on Friday. I just finished SoFi Weekly and Palantir Weekly, and I was like, you know what? I wonder how much a leather jacket costs on Amazon. And I looked it up, and it was like $50. I was like, 50 is not horrible. I mean, it's like 8 Palantir shares, but I can deal with it. And then I loaded up on this jacket. So hopefully the ROI on this jacket is going to be substantial over time. All right, here we go on October 17th. Almost done with October. Very close to be done with October. We've got 2 weeks left. 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The stock market in the United States of America is open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is now officially open. Here we go. Let's see what we've got. Palantir opening up strong, 3.72, 782. Not bad. S&P opening up very strong as well, 1.92, 364. We're going to see if there is a reversal this week on the S&P or if this is a rug pull. I did a video reacting to Tom Lee that'll be out in a little bit. And he thinks the market can't really go lower. His logic for that is just like, it can't go lower. It really wasn't that good of analysis, to be honest. And I love Tom Lee, but we're going to see what happens. Tesla up 2.7% at 210. Meta 130, breaking from its lows of 123 at 3.37% up. Google 100 up 3%. Arc Innovation 35 up 4%. Neo up 5% at 12. Neo's been getting hammered, but Neo's it's up today. Spotify 84, 2.94%. Coinbase 4.8% at 66. And Bitcoin doing a nice little recovery at 19,000, up 342 points, or 19.6. It was at 18.3 last week, I think, at its lows. Enphase at 245, still low from the 255 highs of last week. Snowflake at 157. Open Door still under $3. Look at this. In a world of, or in a morning of a green rally, we have Snowflake down almost 5% at 2,345. This is a stock that has gotten beat pretty bad, but nonetheless, there it is. You've got SoFi there at 232. Or sorry, not SoFi, Open Door. Does SoFi get to $2? I don't know. I don't think so, but I guess we'll see. Good morning, DRK. Ahad, thank you for the jacket. I appreciate it. Chris, I hate that bell. Also, Chris, I had to text you. Your suggestion to make the computer stop like going crazy. I couldn't find those settings that you texted. I'll text you again, but I like those settings that you mentioned. They didn't exist. Because this thing, this computer goes so it just starts heating up for no reason. Looking at the comments, leather jacket. Yep, leather jacket. I feel a little cold seeing you in a hoodie and a leather jacket. You know, to be honest, in New Jersey, it actually is pretty cold with in New Jersey right now for some reason. There's a new movie about creation of Spotify on Netflix. Anyone checked it out? Really? There is? I would love to watch that. I didn't know. I did not know that. All right, let's check out some CNBC stuff. Let's see what's happening. What do we want to see? What do we want to see? What do we want to see? Let's go to something bullish. Stocks could start rallying in the next couple of months. Here's an investment advisor thinking this is possible. Let's take a look at their thoughts.
With you, Victoria. So I got to quit hoping for a pivot. That's sad. So we're going to go higher. We're going 75, then maybe another 50. You do point out next year, though, you don't expect a similar year in terms of rate hikes. So I'm trying to find a glimmer of hope here. So next year we get things under control.
Well, that's the hope, right? I mean, but I do think, I've been saying the pivot's been dead for a while. But yeah, 23, I think the soft landing is kind of out the window. So I'm expecting a bit of a hard landing, recession. I'm kind of team Jamie Dimon on that one. And so with those facts, yeah, it's going to flip around and get so bad it's good. I just don't think we're there yet. So people that are hoping for a pivot, I think you got to look at what the swaps market's pricing in. You've got like 50-50 chance of 75 basis points in December. I mean, the data is just like aligning. The stars are aligning for all these rate hikes with the tight labor market still. And then you have the inflation print that was terrible, broad-based, very widespread. It's going to be very hard to get that out of there. So when you look at that, no, the Fed has no choice until the liquidity problems and market stability problems start to pop up, which I think you saw that glimmer of hope last week with the UK kind of locking up, because anytime everybody starts talking about liquidity, that does make the markets nervous, and the hope then that the Fed would look to intervene. But right now, our markets are very stable. Earnings are actually coming in pretty decent. Labor market is still extremely tight. It's this weird dichotomy we have, because on one hand, everything feels fairly terrible, but on the other, the data from earnings from companies is not that bad. And so you kind of have this weird push and pull happening right now, both in the markets and the economy, which is why we're seeing all this bounce around.
Then you say don't sell, and you just play defense.
Yeah, panic's a horrible investment strategy. Let's not violate the prime directive, buy low, sell high. Even if we push a little lower, we see 3,400 as more of our base and our floor here. Unless you have zombies or anything crazy in there, you most likely, if you don't have a credit problem, you're better off holding. We have been value tilted, defensive tilted. You're getting your dividends. You're sitting here, and now's the time to be patient. A bad day or a great day, don't give up your positions just because you want a knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. And so we see investors struggle with that all the time. And as we keep pushing lower, and that intraday reversal we had Thursday, historically, days like that's closer to the bottom than the top.
Kara,
very interesting. So the point I want to highlight that she made right there, right, is that, and this is I think the key so far. The rally we had on Thursday, on Friday, that intraday rally where the reports came out on the CPI. I believe this was Thursday, and then we had things got bad, then things came up, then things got bad again, then things ended kind of up. That Chamath, I was listening to him on the All In podcast saying that we're closer to the bottom because markets are trying to consolidate a position at the end of the day that allows them to feel it is comfortable because they're forward looking. They bake in all the things. They're like, all right, we have 75 bips. All right, CPI sucked. Now what? Right? Unless you get something that's unexpected, you take it in. Russia, Ukraine has been expected for a long time. Energy prices expected for a long time, and you keep going. Now, could the markets be wrong? 1000%. And of course we could go even lower. But that is one school of thought to think about if you're, DCAing it, if you have dry powder, which is that if we are trying to find the bottom based on how the market's going up or down, maybe we have found it. Is it officially found? Who knows? But we will see.
I think you have some similar notions. The average you do expect a recession. The market declines an average of 20% without a recession, 35% with a recession. NASDAQ's already down 35. Everything else, let's say, is 25. So do you try to wait for that last, if we do get a 10% to 30, I think you agree. I think someone with Victoria, 32 to 3,400 looks about right.
So it sounds like we have very similar views, but I will say, we also preach the gospel and we live the gospel of long-term investing. So, even if we haven't seen the market low, we do think that there are opportunities here, particularly as we get into the last couple of months of the year. The broad indexes are extraordinarily washed out. You have, about 10% of issues trading above their 200-day moving average. You have high levels of cash, very extreme pessimism. Corporate insiders are buying. And then all of a sudden, seasonality starts to move from a headwind in the last couple of months to a tailwind. Then you layer in midterm elections in which the seasonality tends to be even stronger. So, we think that there are a lot of reasons where stocks could start to rally over the next couple of months.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for.
So there are two schools of thought at the end of the day. There's one school of thought that says stocks have a prime time to rally. And there's other schools of thoughts that say there's no reason for stocks to rally and things can only keep going down because there's no negative catalyst. Granted, no positive catalyst. When there's no positive catalyst, stocks tend to go down even a bit more, to be honest. So I guess we will see, but that is what's going on right now. S&P at 366, Ginkgo 268, Tesla 213, Zoom 75, ARK 35. Nothing really changing from the opening market. Spotify $85. If you are buying, please put in the chat what stock are you actually DCAing on. I think we're gonna see, by 12 we get a better understanding during the day of like where the day is going. Even though you can get rug pulled very easily. I mean, like look, it's all green right now, right? If you look at everything. This happened on Friday, and then at 11:40, I think, I tweeted, LOL, what a rug pull, because everything had just flopped right back down to the bottom. Right back down to the bottom. Amit, are you getting any more Tesla? I don't know. We got earnings coming up. I don't know if earnings are going to be good or if earnings are going to be short-lived. I mean, I think this would be a better time now than ever to DCA, to be honest, into Tesla. But not fully sure if I will be doing that. I obviously have those 5 shares at 240. It's at 213 right now. I mean, we'll see. Honestly, I haven't made my mind up yet. Probably will make my mind up tomorrow. Nvidia 118, back up from 109. Meta recovering well. So we're getting a decent, I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not a horrible, it's not like they're going down even more, right? At some level, you can keep going down even more. You asked who is DCing. That's why I asked. Gotcha. Makes sense. Got my birthday this Sunday, so I'm going to buy like hell on next Monday. I love it. DCA into leather jackets. Guys, I like this, bro. Every video that I recorded today is me wearing the leather jacket. So I think Leather Emit is officially a figure on this channel, man. I think it's a thing. AMRS, she bought some of that. Rocket Lab, Coke and Costco. Oh, I want to show you guys this picture. Okay. I tweeted this out yesterday. I think it was a pretty cool picture. And I want to show you guys it because it compares Kathy versus Warren Buffett. Okay, so here we go. We got Kathy Wood's portfolio. Okay, can you guys see this? Yes, you can see this. Okay. You've got a $7.2 billion portfolio, and you've got Tesla making up 10% of it with $778 billion. Then you got Zoom, Roku, next 2 positions, then Exact Sciences, Intella, CRISPR, Teladoc, UiPath, Block, Twilio, Coinbase, Beam, Unity, Shopify, Ginkgo Bioworks, DraftKings, Roblox, Robinhood, and then you got a bunch of other stocks right here at the bottom. But the core positions are Tesla, Zoom, Roku, and then you've got something like TDoc, Twilio, Coinbase, Ginkgo, Intella, CRISPR, but these are the core positions that make up Kathy Wood's ARK. Okay. Then you've got someone like Buffett. He has less positions, I think, that are just bigger stakes, obviously because he has more money. So he's working with $300 billion, not $7 billion. And he's made his money betting on Apple, which is 40% of the portfolio, $122 billion. Kraft Heinz, 4% of the portfolio at $12 billion. American Express, 21 billion, Chevron, 23 billion, Coca-Cola, 25 billion, Bank of America, 31 billion, and then Occidental, he's been buying up a really big stake in that at 9 billion. So, I mean, obviously totally different styles. The one thing that's similar is Apple's a technology company. Kathy thinks they're not innovative anymore. Warren Buffett has believed they've always been sort of like a staple consumer company. He doesn't even consider them really a tech company because he doesn't invest in tech. He thinks of them more as like a product, right? Like Kraft Heinz, you always buy ketchup. People always buy iPhones. And that's sort of his analysis and his argument there. And then he's got Coca-Cola, Bank of America, Chevron, American Express. So it's very interesting. Both of them, you know, have not performed the most amazing this year, obviously, because the market has hit everything. But which would you be in if you had to pick? Like, gun to your head, if you had to pick between Kathy and Warren Buffett, which one would you pick to invest? Or which version of those stocks would you pick to invest? All right, let's look at another one. Meta Horizons World active user expectations are a clear disappointment. This is their Metaverse platform. Let's hear some thoughts on how they're doing with users.
One of the 200,000, G.
Joe, I'm disappointed to report as an investor in Facebook Meta, we're not one. We do have the new Quest Pro on order, so look forward to getting in there. But this news as investors is disappointing as these leaked memos articulate the users. You mentioned a couple 100,000. I would have expected that to be 1 million by this time. The company's internal projections were 500,000. So this is a very clear disappointment, which begs the question, which is how long is the metaverse really away here? How far are we away from this actually taking off? And from our perspective, we don't own it today for the metaverse. We own it for the core business, which is a side question today. But as far as what it's going to take is that we are, there essentially is a chicken and an egg problem here. That these devices, the headsets, the cheapest ones are $400 to get into the metaverse. That's expensive. They need to get down to a $100 price point before you really get some major lift here. And despite that headwind around the price of the headsets and this disappointing engagement numbers, I'm still positive on where this company can go and more positive on the long-term potential of the metaverse. And I think we can all distill our feelings of the metaverse, whether this is a good investment or not, with a simple question. Is there going to be a mobile or a platform, a user platform, a consumer user platform beyond mobile? If the question is no, that the future, the next 50, 100, 10 years, that we will only have innovations around mobile, then the metaverse isn't going to take off. But if the answer is yes, that there is going to be some form of a computing platform beyond mobile, it's most likely going to be the metaverse, because it's not just Meta.
So again, very interesting hypothetical there. If you believe there's not going to be any innovation in computing, which is the platforms that we use to access the internet and the information that exists on the planet, beyond mobile, then the metaverse fails. If there is, then it's probably going to be a metaverse. Microsoft's working on it. Apple's working on it. I do think that to think the phone is going to be the next 20 years of innovation, I think that's probably incorrect. I don't think the phone's going away. I just don't think, it's going to be the only thing like it was the last decade. And so wherever you fall on that side of the question determines, if you make this investment or not.
That's trying to advance this cause. It's Apple, Microsoft, Google, Samsung. There is a lot of investment that's being made to essentially build these future worlds. And so whether it is outside of the very damaging reporting this weekend to the status of the metaverse, I'm still optimistic that we're going to find a way forward and that this will be something.
Gene, to me, it's like glorified video games. For me, you say it's not a question of if, but just a question of when. So when do you get to 500,000? What did you say, 50, 100 years? I mean, did you actually use those time frames?
No, I was just saying that for mobile, is mobile going to be the computing platform for the next 50 or 100 years?
So we're finally all going back outside, and you think we're going to, isn't it? It's something that, I've seen those, and you can play games on those, but really, why are you so bullish on the whole notion? You have to sell me on that. And maybe, I think Andrew finally decided, certain times you might want to do this, and you don't need that many people that might want to do it. You think it's going to be a societal change as to how we all spend our time?
That's basically it. I think the way that humans interact, I think are, maybe to put it in some more dark terms, I think our addiction to tech products is just can't be satisfied. And I think we've seen that. I mean, go to any restaurant, just go look at what typically an interaction is at a table as people are looking down at their phones. If we'd have predicted that 15 years ago, that would have seemed off base. But I think one of the kind of the core tenets here is that humans are lazy and that they are seeking easy experiences. And I think at the core, that's what these are building, is these incredibly immersive, enticing, addictive experiences. It's not a world that I want to be a part of. I enjoy the real world very much, but I'm also old, and I think that that the youth will decide on this. And if you just look at, let's just take Roblox, and this is a common example, a common support case for the metaverse. But a typical user, the age range for a typical user in the US is 11 to 15 years old for Roblox. And it's about 2.5 hours per day. Now that includes school time, includes homework. It includes the fact, and that also number has been increasing. And so, Joe, to answer your question and make the case for, the metaverse, is that I just think that these experiences are going to be inviting. And I think people are going to take the bait. And I think once the ball starts going and once you start to see actual communities, I mean, there is some damaging commentary in this Wall Street Journal article about just the sad reality, but I think it's going to get going.
Very interesting. We've got some comments in the chat. I'm going to tell the viewers to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That would be awesome if you guys do that, but it would be also awesome if you check out the link in the description and sign up to my startup and give me some feedback on that. That would be even better than liking and subscribing. Lots of viewers today. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't know. Did Kanye West get a lot of people in here? Maybe. Let's see. Chris is making a good point about adult content in VR. I think in all seriousness, a lot of the internet, if you go to the top 10 websites on the planet, about 3 of them are adult content websites. We're talking about billions of views a month. So when VR does get into that space at an even deeper level than it is right now, you can imagine it being taken off, right? Not to be facetious, but like that's a big part of the internet at the end of the day. I mean, look at what mobile did for that industry. Like completely killed magazines, completely killed buying DVDs, completely killed buying pay-per-view. Literally, like people who used to pay for adult content, now they have OnlyFans. It's the mobile democratized version of supporting a content creator, right? Like content that's distributed. You might pay for adult content from some random person across the entire world who's making a living off that, versus like a professional studio that then screws over the adult actresses and all this stuff. And so, there's definitely a big market opportunity there. It's just you don't want your platform to only be utilized for that. Obviously, I think Zucks wants the platform to be used in a lot of different ways. And I don't think we can deny he's a bit of a visionary. He imagined a world in which 3 billion people would be using one thing every day. So whether this works or not, we can't deny that he definitely has a vision behind it. And now it's just a question of if they can actually convince the world to use it. I mean, it's all a question of convincing people to use it. So they missed on their estimates. For those who missed the first part of that video, instead of getting 500,000 MAUs, they're having 200,000 on their Horizon Worlds platform, which means people aren't really downloading new worlds and going into new worlds. I haven't bought an Oculus yet. I need to buy one to actually like really dive deep into it, but I have not done that yet. Apple at 142, up 2.96%. iPhone 14 sales are probably going to be reported a little bit more in earnings. Earnings are coming up. We have about 3 weeks until earnings, so we are very close to our earnings seasons. We know SoFi is on November 2nd, their earnings. And we're going to see what else happens until then. Rumble at 9:52 today. JP Morgan Chase 115. I think Bank of America had earnings today. I want to check out their numbers. Bank of America 3309, up 4.385%. Let me go Bank of America earnings. Bank of America earnings. Bank of America tops estimates on better than expected bond trading, higher interest rates. Okay, let's look at BOA. This is also probably a good, this is great for the market open today. So they and 81 cents per share versus 77 cents, 24 billion versus 23 billion. Third quarter profit fell 8% to $7.1 billion or 81 cents a share as the company booked $898 million provision for credit loss in the quarter. Revenue net of interest expenses jumped to $24.6 billion on a non-GAAP basis. Shares of the bank rose 2.9% in pre-market trading. Net interest income at the bank jumped to 24%, $13.87 billion, topping the $13.6 billion. So they didn't kill earnings, but they beat them, which is good in this market. If you can just beat them, that's what matters. Fixed income trading revenue surged 27% to $2.6 billion, handily exceeding the $2.24 billion estimate. Investment banking revenue posted steep declines, falling about 46% to $1.2 billion, slightly exceeding the $1.13 billion. They have $1.1 in reserves. Analysts said that they would want to see the bank exit factor a possibility of impending recession before investors return to beaten down sector. JP Morgan and Wells Fargo. So banks are doing well. Tech is doing horrible. Banks are still doing decent, at least for this quarter. We're going to see in Q4 next year how the banks continue to do. But that's encouraging. You know, if you're making a bull case for the banks or just for the economy, if the banks are putting up decent numbers, that means people are still trading. People are still investing, even if they're not doing investment banking at the levels that they were a year ago. People are still putting their money in the bank. They're not taking it out. People are still having cash, which means the banks have money to be able to loan and do other things. So it's not a horrible thing at all. Let's look at some of the comments. Damn, I'm late, but look at the shiny leather. Miyoko, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Does Ye think he will compete with Elon's Twitter? I don't think he's going to compete with Elon's Twitter. I think he wanted to make a statement, and he has the money to be able to make a statement to show that he's uncancelable, which is why he probably bought it out, to be honest. But I don't know, man. I don't know if that was a good version to buy it, or a good reason to buy it. Didn't the VHS win the video wars because of the adult industry? Yeah, that's probably a good reason. And I think, OnlyFans and different things like that are going to change it. Amit looks like a Gen Z CEO with this. I didn't even see Tom was in the chat. I love it. Yo, I think this jacket is it's unlocked a new personality for me, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I really do. I think it has. I think I'm very bullish on this jacket. And we're gonna see how things go. All right. So we're gonna end out the market open for today. What did Kanye do? He bought Parler. Thank you everyone for joining. Really, really appreciate it. If you're not following me on Instagram, we're rolling with a little bit new of a content strategy coming out on Instagram starting today. I think it'll be really interesting. It's Amit Kukreja. ITSAMITKUKREJA. It's Amit Kukreja on Instagram for those who are on Instagram. On Twitter, Amit is investing. Thank you so much for being here. I have 3 videos coming out here today. One, we're going to talk about Peter Thiel's newest startup that he invested in. Second, we're going to be talking about the Ukraine-Russia situation explained from the head of Anduril Industries. And third, we're going to be doing a reaction to Tom Lee saying that the market cannot keep going down anymore. Those are 3 videos. I will see you guys at 3:45 for the market close. We're going to see if this market can continue to rally. And then from there, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of you. It means the world. It's Monday morning, October 17th. I personally want to kill this week. Last week was okay. This week, I want it to be at another level. I hope you guys take it to another level this week as well. And as bad as it was last week, because I'm sure for some people it was bad, not even just in the market, but just in life. This is a new week. This is a new opportunity. There's a new chance to kill it. There's a new chance to go do something meaningful in life. And we're coming up on the end of October. October is a month that I love for a lot of different reasons. So want to end it out right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I will see you at 3:45. Bye-bye, everybody.